All right. I don't know. Time to piss people off, I guess. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Ranger Central. Back at it with the free agent / trade target videos. And yeah, because I still have to continue the series because one, I promised to. Two, there are people in the comments that sent requests, and especially for this player that we're talking about today in Matt Duchene. And I've seen him rumored potentially as a right-wing option regardless for the Rangers. So it is worth noting that, you know, this isn't something that's just completely out of the blue where, you know, some of them have been. I'm not going to sit here and act like there's reports connecting them. There's nothing saying there's interest. Obviously, we're not going to know on June 16th if there's interest, but there is obviously mentions in articles of there being a fit because the Rangers need a top line right winger, and Matt Duchene could potentially fill that bill. But before we jump into everything, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're a Ranger fan, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. Matt Duchene. Now, this is a little bit of a toss-up of a player for me personally, and we're going to go into why. But this past year with Dallas, I ended up getting bought out by Nashville and still was very respectable. Just the issue is his contract was too damn heavy, or was he traded with retention? I think he was bought out. But 80 points, or in 80 games played, 65 points, 25 goals, 40 assists. Really not bad, the baseline numbers. You look at the playoffs, 19 games played here, 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. Really not bad stuff at all. And then you look at just in general, the guy does produce a good amount in the playoffs. This year, a little bit down, but he was also playing in a lesser role, I believe, with Dallas. I think he was on their third line, actually. But a guy that's consistently giving you like 40, 50 points. The outlier here is the 86-point season in Nashville. If they got 40 goals from him, the Rangers were to sign him and to get 40 goals from him, I will be doing cartwheels and backflips. But in terms of the 5-on-5 stuff from Matt Duchene, he played a lot of center this year, and the guy wins a lot of faceoffs. So if they want to, I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is all hypothetical anyway, these videos. So please stop getting mad at me in the comments over it. But hypothetically, if they were to give Matt Duchene a contract and they were to envision him playing with Meek and Kreider, is it time for a conversation that maybe you put Duchene in the middle and you move Mika to the wing a bit? But then there's also the conversation where, okay, maybe you throw Duchene in for faceoffs, but you have Mika be the actual center because when we get to the cards and stuff, Duchene's defense, little suspect there. But 5-on-5, still 39 points for him. Really good stuff from Matt Duchene. Throws the shooting percentage and stuff like that. 14.5. I wouldn't say it's unsustainable considering that's kind of been the norm for a guy like Matt Duchene throughout his entire career. Guy that's got Selke votes before a long time ago at this point, though, so really not much stock to take into that. But yeah, like all the hype for Matt Duchene just kind of died out of nowhere, to be honest with you, and this is just where we are now with them. But 5-on-5, still very good numbers, and probably would be like second or third on the Rangers in 5v5 points if we're being frank here. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but still. We get to the all three zones model stuff, and a lot of good things that you like here. The zone entries in particular, forechecking wise, a little bit, you know, he's good on the pressures, but not good at recoveries, which makes sense given, you know, some of this stuff. But it is weird. His retrievals seem good, at least in the D zone. But again, as long as he's scoring goals for you and putting up points, I really don't care. And as long as he's able to drive some offense a bit, and judging by stuff like this, I really do think he does have the ability to potentially drive that line. But again, there's that conversation still. Is it a Mika and Kreider problem? You get to the scoring chances chart here, and the guys in the top right quadrant in pretty good freaking company with guys like Jordan Kyrou, guys like Nathan McKinnon, Brent Saad, I guess, Barkov. Tippett had a very good year. JVR, I'm surprised to see up here. Troy Terry, Panarin's in this region. You have Crosby, Kucherov, Hagel. Like, you have some pretty good players in the company that Matt Duchene was in for this past year. But then you get to this stuff, and this is where it's a little weird, right? You look at his expected goals on the power play versus actual goals. Shows he got unlucky, but then on 5-on-5, it says, well, he got lucky with the goals and he actually scored more than he should have. Defensively, again, he's not necessarily lights out defensively. You know, you go back, and that's kind of been one of the knocks on Duchene throughout his career, is that, you know, he's that bit away from being a legit elite #1 center, but still, a guy that puts up a good amount of points. And you look at this stuff and still very good. Like, you take this type of expected goals numbers and goal numbers in general any day of the week over what you have right now on that first line, which would be probably Capo Caco slotting in. And I know that this is the risk where 33 years old, that's going to be the risk, because now we get to the contract stuff. He's projected to get a 3-year deal at like $7 million. And what I did, I stretched the AAV out an extra year, or I stretched the term out, I should say, an extra year to lower the AAV down to 5.3. Still the same exact total as he would have got, just 4 years instead. You could even say maybe they drag it out to 5, and then you could really, buy out maybe the last year, move it. But do you want dead money on the books? I don't know. This is what the contract situation will look like, is what I do know. And again, if this team wants to address the top line right wing, they're going to one way or another have to open up cap space, because quite frankly, even if Duchene signed for, like, I don't know, even if they got top line right winger for $3 million, let's just say, you still have like 5.8 keep the change to go out and fill 2 spots on defense on top of that. A move has to be made unless they're fully running it back, and I am just still not convinced that's the answer to do. But Matt Duchene, in terms of this, I think he would fit so well in that first line, in terms of the fact that, and this is a guy that I kind of overlook, because on Twitter, he was mentioning an article, and I'm like, I don't know if I like the idea of Matt Duchene, but I don't hate the idea. It's just, again, it's the same thing we're talking about with all these free agents, where the cap is so tight that it's hard to, find the justification for certain guys to spend money on, and they need to sign a top line right winger, but it's just hard to argue if Duchene is the guy. But if he puts up the 40 goal season again, it's like, yeah, it's what you want. But even then, I mean, if he's putting up 40 points at even strength, that is still very good stuff that you would take from him. And again, he's a guy that you can move up and down the lineup. If you really wanted to get creative too and get crazy, I don't know, the second line's not working. All right, maybe do something like that, because Kreider and Trocheck have played well together. I'm just spitballing ideas before people run to the comments and say they shouldn't split up the second line. It's just, again, what the options would be with a guy like Matt Duchene in the lineup. But regardless, this team's going to have to make additional moves, even without getting a guy like Duchene. But, you look at this roster, and I don't know. I like the fit, potentially, of him in terms of getting a guy that just puts up a lot of points at even strength, a guy that could play up and down the lineup if you need him to. The only argument really is the AAV. Outside of that, I mean, he's consistently been a similar player the past few years. Look at this. 39 points at even strength, 34, 47. Obviously, outliers here with, some injuries and stuff. But he's been consistent the last 3 years, to where I would say it's safe to say this is just what Matt Duchene is, and where you can maybe take a gamble on it. Not that's a gamble. I mean, it's not really a gamble if the guy's consistently giving you that sort of production, where you pretty much know what he is how I should rephrase it. It's just a matter of, do you want to gamble? The only gamble is the AAV in the term, where the guy's 33 years old. But in terms of player fit, I think it's there. I do think it's there personally. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.